Always was a kind of dreamer. All these thoughts run through my head. You won't see me at the theater. I'm making movies.
Anytime. That's right. We're gonna have to wait for us to stop laughing.
Miller Goes to Town, a pilot by Dustin J. Halati, produced by Practical Pioneer Pictures. Our scene begins in the interior of a farmhouse. It's daytime. An 11-year-old Miller is sitting on the floor. His mother is kneeling down next to him, trying to explain that he's going to his biological father's apartment this weekend for the first time to stay with him. This will also be the first time Miller has met him.
Okay, so Shelly is going to pick you up and take you to Jake's for the weekend. Got it? If anything happens, Miller, if you don't feel safe, get away. Keep these quarters on you, find a payphone, and call me.
Okay, Mom.
We cut to the interior of Shelley's car. It's daytime. Shelley, the divorce mediator, is chain smoking as they drive out of the country and into the city. They meet Miller's dad at a gas station. He does not hug his son. He seems like he's in a hurry.
Get in, Miller.
Miller gets in and talks incessantly about movies he's read about in magazines and has never seen. He lives an hour drive from the nearest movie theater. His mother has never actually called Jake his dad. So naturally, Miller calls him Jake.
Jake, there's this one that looks really good. Maybe we can go and see it. It's about that Ferris Bueller guy, and he gets free cable from this lunatic played by the Pet Detective guy, which was so funny. The Pet Detective show. I think we rented it from the gas station, but we laughed so hard, Jake.
Jake slams on the brakes and gets in Miller's face.
I'm your dad. Get it? Call me Dad.
Miller tenses up. Jake pulls onto the road again. There's silence in the car for a few moments. Miller perks up and brushes it off as if the conversation never happened.
So, Dad, what kind of movies do you like?
His dad drives him to a small apartment, quickly gives Miller instructions about staying there, and leaves. Time passes. Miller waits for him to come back, but he doesn't. It gets late. He eats what little food he finds lying around and flicks on the television set. When he hits power, he hears those iconic words for the first time.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
It's the Lisa Kudrow and Sheryl Crow episode, number 408. Miller was despondent while waiting for his father, but while watching the show he comes alive, laughing at the cold opening and other sketches. He falls asleep with the television on. By the end of the weekend, his dad still hasn't returned. He walks back to the gas station he was picked up at, alone. We cut to the exterior of the farmhouse later that day. Miller's mother is waiting for him. She's worried. Shelley drops him off.
How was it? Are you okay?
It was amazing.
Amazing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? What did you think was going to happen?
It's just that you can be very... And Jake is... I'm just glad you had a good time. Jake isn't usually much fun.
I had a great time.
We cut to the interior of Shelley's car. It's the following weekend. Shelley is chain smoking, driving into the city. They start to pull up to the gas station she dropped him off last time, but Miller stops her.
My dad said to just drop me off at the apartment from now on. He said there's no reason why he should have to drive to the gas station just to pick me up.
That sounds about right. You have an address?
Yep.
Cue the montage. Miller being dropped off at his father's apartment and then back at home on the farm. Miller finding money in his dad's apartment and ordering pizza. Miller watching the entire 22nd season, laughing and reacting to all the classic bits. Miller reenacting SNL skits to his sisters when he comes home. Skits like Dana Carvey's Wouldn't Be Prudent, The Joe Pesci Show, and Burt Reynolds' Celebrity Jeopardy. We cut to the exterior of the farm, months later. Shelley is dropping Miller off. His mother is in the doorway holding a letter that she's opened up. She's upset. We cut to the exterior of 30 Rockefeller Plaza in New York City. It's nighttime. A 34-year-old Miller is talking to someone in the ticket line. The line is long, and people are camped outside, waiting to get free tickets to Saturday Night Live.
My dad was dead. I cried so hard, but it wasn't for my dad. I mean, I barely knew him. I was crying because this thing that I had found, Saturday Night Live, was taken from me. See, we didn't have cable out on the farm, and the only way I could watch it was at my dad's. I had to convince my grandma to tape the episodes every week and mail them to me. I mean, that's how I watched it until I moved to the city and got cable. That's what the show has meant to me. That's how much I love it.
Dude, you can't just butt ahead in line.
Other people in the line get mad.
Did he ask you too? Back of the line, buddy. Get out of here.
Defeated, Miller begins to leave.
Fuck you guys.
Excuse me? Fuck you! You line-cutting shit!
What?
Didn't you just say fuck you guys?
Did he? I didn't hear that.
I didn't say F you.
What'd you say?
When?
When you walked away?
I don't know, just mumbling to myself.
Oh, sorry. I must have misheard you.
It's okay. No hard feelings, man.
We've been here for a long time. Everyone's cranky.
It's understandable. Do you think maybe I can wait here with you until they hand out the tickets?
No!
Fuck you, man.
You did say that. You're a loser and a liar.
Miller leaves.
Welcome New York, jerk.
Miller walks around the city, pulls out his cell phone, calls a number. Rachel picks up.
Hello?
Hey, Rachel, it's Miller from Moose Lake Camp.
Hey, man. Holy, I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know, hey? Listen, I was in New York. I'm only here for 24 hours and figured I'd ring you up. I heard you moved out here for your music.
This is great, actually. I'm playing a show in an hour. Kind of afraid no one's gonna come. Would you be in my cheering section? Gonna need this tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just text me the address.
We cut to the interior of the Village Underground Club. Rachel is sitting on stage, playing a folk pop song and picking an acoustic guitar. Miller catches her eye as he enters the room. The attentive audience doesn't notice him. Rachel finishes the song and begins to banter with the audience.
I didn't think anyone would be here, so thanks for coming out. My friend Miller from Bible Camp is here. Please wave, Miller. I haven't seen this guy in like 8 years. We went to this super charismatic Pentecostal camp where everyone spoke in tongues, and sometimes they would like roll around on the ground or laugh uncontrollably. You remember, Miller?
It was terrifying.
And we were the only ones who didn't speak in tongues, so we kind of banded together. And people were trying to get us to speak in tongues like really hard. Just like praying on us all the time, like not exaggerating. 20 sweaty hands on your back and people just yelling, "Makaraka, makaraka, makaraka, give her the words, Lord!" I know you're looking at me like, this isn't true, but Miller was there, you can ask him.
It is.
Do you remember what we did, Miller? To get them off our backs? This is fun. It's like group therapy, except I'm the only one talking. And don't try to take a turn either. I don't want to hear sad shit. Do you remember, Miller?
We called my mom?
Yes, but that didn't work. Do you remember what did work?
We faked it.
We fucking faked it, y'all. 2 16-year-old theater club emo kids. We gave the performance of our freaking lives. They were praying for me, and I started shaking. And I was like, what's going on with me? And they were like, it's the Holy Ghost. I just continued to shake. Now, okay, you guys are a good audience, but like, these guys were even better. They were freaking out, just like jumping up and down and just like so stoked. I started to yell this gibberish. They lose their damn minds. All the while I'm thinking like, this is the best performance I've ever given. Then just like we planned.
Rachel leaves the stage and walks towards Miller as they reenact the scene.
I walk towards Miller, shaking and shouting tongues. Hey gotta, oh gotta, hey gotta, hey gotta, oh gotta, hey gotta, hey gotta, oh gotta. And I touch him. And as soon as I touch him, he starts shaking and he starts shouting gibberish. Anyway, they left us the fuck alone after that.
Rachel turns back and walks back to the stage.
Anyway, because I'm great at segues, here is a song about Saturday morning cartoons.
We cut to the exterior street later that night. Rachel and Miller are walking and laughing and catching up.
Okay, so New York, $50 and 24 hours. How did this happen?
My girlfriend, she kind of got screwed over by an airline last year, so they gave her a free trip to anywhere in North America. But she hadn't used it, and it was about to expire, and she didn't have the time or the money, so she just said, well, why don't you take it and go to New York? I mean, you love it, but you've never been there. And I didn't have the time or the money either, but I came anyway. So here I am with about 10 hours and $40 left.
Your first 24 hours in New York are pretty important. What do you think so far?
Well, you know my town.
Moose Jaw? Yeah. Damn right I do.
We've got some stuff going on every once in a while, and I mean, it's great. I love it, but this...
I know.
I mean, you could spend a week just discovering one block. So do you consider yourself a New Yorker yet?
Maybe? I feel like I haven't really found my place yet. I don't feel like I am who or where I'm meant to be, but I'm still dabbling with the possibilities.
Well, what would you do that's different?
Okay, this sounds crazy, but I love the whole like indie pop, lo-fi stuff that you saw tonight, but I've had this idea for a music side project where I rap
Okay.
over classical music,
Nice.
and I call myself Beethoven.
No.
What? You don't like Beethoven?
It's like the pun came before the idea.
May have.
It's like starting a strip club where all the dancers do martial arts because you thought of the name Naughty Karate.
You just think that up right now?
No, I've actually thought that name up like a year ago, and I've always wanted to start that business.
See, that's why I always liked you, Miller. I've never met anyone as funny as I am. Here. Check this shit. Albert and his wife Suzanne, they load themselves into the family minivan. They're going to the strip mall, where they'll sit on a couch and have a fucking ball. Yeah, couples therapy is lit. Couples therapy the shit. So many issues to address, so many motives to undress. Do you trust your partner? Yes, but sometimes I don't feel it. So much here to realize the session ends in compromise. Albert and his wife Suzanne.
I take it all back. Beethoven must be.
Thanks. Hey, I'm sorry your plan to get into the SNL taping didn't really pan out.
That's okay. I'm kind of super disappointed, actually.
I can't believe you still watch it. You've been watching it for like ever.
Yeah, I've never missed an episode.
Since when?
Since I started watching when I was 11.
That's crazy. That's like
22 seasons.
Aren't you back in university? Like don't you go out?
Not on Saturdays from 9:30 to 11.
That's sad.
Tonight'll be the first episode I'll miss. Now that's sad. I tried to get a sports bar to play it, but they shut me down.
They come up to a bar. The sign says funeral with the letters F, U, and N, all in capitals.
Oh, we have to go here. This is like the weirdest new bar in the city.
I was actually wondering if maybe you had a TV.
TV? No. I have a phone and a life.
Well, I don't know, Rachel. It's getting kind of late. Maybe it's time to pack it in.
Someone catches his eye. 80 Bryant walks by and drops her purse. Miller immediately picks it up and hands it back to her.
Excuse me, 80? Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
80 walks into the bar.
Who's that?
That was 80 Bryant, one of the funniest SNL alums of all time.
What? And you didn't say hi?
I just...
Go in there and introduce yourself.
No, she doesn't want me to ruin her evening.
Dude, if she tells you to fuck off, at least you can say you tried.
I don't want to be weird.
It's not weird to tell someone you admire their work.
80 comes back out and walks up to Miller.
Hey, do we know each other?
That's an interesting question. I mean, no, you don't know me.
It's just that usually when fans see me, they scream my catchphrases at me or try and take a selfie without asking.
That's awkward.
It really is.
Okay, and what are they saying when they're doing this?
Nothing. That's what's so creepy about it. They don't say anything. They're just silent. It's like they just want my picture to put on Instagram so they can, I don't know, show off that they creeped me out. But you weren't like that, and that's why I thought you knew me from somewhere else.
Nope, you're just super famous.
Oh, so famous. You got me all embarrassed. Sounds like a couple cast members are heading to Funeral tonight if you'd like to join our table. I know Molly Shannon hosted. She'll likely be there.
Yeah, that'd be great. But only if I'm allowed to reenact my top 10 favorite skits that you're in. Our waterbeds are the best!
Oh, fuck off. All right, have a good night.
No, 80. I'm sorry, I was just joking. Please, don't uninvite us.
We cut to the interior of the bar. It's packed. 80 Bryant, Molly Shannon, Miller, and Rachel sit around a table that has a coffin on it. They are laughing and telling stories. The server approaches them.
Hello and welcome to Funeral. Have any of you been here before?
They stare at her blankly.
Okay, so here at Funeral, we believe in putting the fun back in the reality of mortality. This is no Halloween ghoul place, so you won't find any witches or dry ice here. Instead, we believe when reminded of our inevitable demise, we live richer, fuller lives. It puts things into perspective. This coffin isn't meant to be scary, but instead reminds us of our eventual end. We encourage our patrons to lie in it and have their friends say what they would at their funeral. Why wait to say what you've always wanted to?
What? In 100 years, you and everyone you know will be dead? It says that right in the menu. What kind of restaurant is this?
I think IHOP says in a half an hour, you'll wish you were dead.
And all the appetizers are named after people who died young.
The John Belushi chicken fingers?
They didn't get the full serving.
And the drinks, all named after famous deaths.
Yeah, just let me know if you need me to explain any of them. A Bloody Mary's still a Bloody Mary.
So what's the screwdriver?
The Charles John McCarthy.
Was that someone who was...
Killed by a screwdriver, yep. I'll get a paralyzer. 1 Christopher Reeves.
The night carries on. We see everyone still sitting around the table. Miller works up the courage to ask Molly Shannon a question.
So, do you have any good SNL stories?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, you probably get asked that all the time.
I do, but I think my favorite life stories are my non-SNL stories. I've lived a really interesting life so far, and hopefully my best stories are ahead of me. But I once, as a kid, snuck on a plane in Ohio and went to New York for a day.
That's interesting. I'm only here for 24 hours too.
Are you 12 and dressed as a ballerina?
No.
Well, I think my story wins.
So, were your parents pissed?
I was raised by my dad. He was actually the one that dared us to do it.
I'm raised by a single mom.
Would your mom do speed and spend the whole night cleaning?
Speed cleaning.
No.
Did she have any vices?
Well, religion.
I was raised Irish Catholic.
I was Pentecostal.
They're so intense.
You have no idea.
I mean, my dad, God bless him, was a little too Catholic. He would buy that really gross smelling incense sometimes and burn it when he was saying his prayers in the basement. Like, Dad, can you wait till Mass on Sunday?
That's like Catholic hotboxing.
It really is. Oh, but to answer your question about SNL stories, my favorite is actually not my own. It's about Lorne Michaels. So Lorne Michaels sold NBC on this late night show. I think they thought it was going to be like Carson. So Lorne Michaels was a great talker and basically had gotten the show without actually having a real concrete idea of what it was going to be. So one day, Lorne goes out to Joshua Tree in California and does a ton of mushrooms. And that's the moment it all comes together for him. He tells his friend he was with that he's seeing the future. He gets back to his hotel room, and while he's still super high, he calls the execs at NBC and he sells the show. He wins them over.
Oh, well, takes a hit to make a hit. Ew!
That's right.
Wait, you're an international comedic icon because some guy was tripping balls in the desert.
That's why I like that story.
That's awesome. So, do you have any good SNL stories?
Are you looking for the dirt? Want to know who hooked up?
There's a natural sexual chemistry between Adie and Miller.
People on SNL have sex with each other?
Dadoy.
This is blowing my mind right now. I've never smoked, but I think I need a cigarette.
What? And you never even asked who hooked up with who. What a gentleman. I know you want to know.
I just kind of figured you guys were like a family on SNL, and it wouldn't be right for you to snitch on your family.
Adie, he's so sweet.
Oh, such a sweet, incorruptible boy.
I'm 3 years and 2 months older than you.
Adie looks at him strangely.
So I'm not going to tell you who hooked up, but I will do impressions of both their characters, and if you're a true fan, you'll know. And if you don't, then you don't deserve to.
Okay.
Okay, here's the first one.
She grabs a fork and points it at Miller several times while pretending to talk.
Got it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the second one.
She puts prayer hands to her lips and then thumbs her nose.
No way.
What happened?
Okay, I got the second one.
Is that true?
Maybe.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Or is it?
What?
No, but seriously, I'm telling the truth.
Really?
Or am I?
Well, I don't know anymore.
Okay, and here's an impression of two people that are going to hook up, for sure. I know you'll know this one. Okay.
Adie just sits still.
Have you started?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, here's the second one.
She copies everything that Miller does. Miller is so into her movements, he doesn't even realize that he's being a mirror image.
Someone who stares a lot?
Molly Shannon climbs onto the table and sits down in the mock coffin.
Okay, I'm doing this.
Oh, there's actually steps over. Oh, never mind. It's your funeral.
Molly Shannon lies down in the coffin.
Let's Tom Sawyer this shit.
Adie and Miller are making eyes at each other and don't notice.
Oh, hey everyone! I'm dead.
Wait, you're the voice from of the werewolf wife from Hotel Transylvania, aren't you?
Molly ignores her, even though she's right.
We're gathered here today to celebrate the life of Miss Molly Shannon, world-renowned comedian, wife, albeit she married a man named Fritz Chestnut, but we won't talk about that, mother, and an inspiration to many girls across the world. I know I would not have ever started improvising at 15 if it wasn't for her. I don't even know where I would be if it wasn't for her. Probably in Arizona somewhere, married to some dude, some boring dude, some postal worker who does accounting for fun on the weekends. But in reality, you're an inspiration to us all. Thank you so much.
That was so sweet. You're so sweet.
The dead don't talk.
I was never popular in high school.
Is that it? Weird funeral speech, man.
No, that's not what I'm... Okay, so, I never had a ton of friends in high school, but my first year was really bad. See, I got put in a different school than my other friends, and I didn't make any friends my first day. And then I didn't make any friends my second day, or my third. And then I just had no friends. I mean, it was this really rural school, so everybody grew up driving tractor and went to 4-H, and I had blue hair, and I got called faggot all the time. So people would ask me, are you gay? Even though I'm not, I've just always thought there was never anything wrong with being gay. And they weren't going to convince me to go, oh, no, I'm not gay. So I would just say, who cares? So they'd beat me up sometimes, and sometimes I would just think, Why don't you just tell them you're not gay? I mean, the guys would stop being weird in the change rooms and beating you up, and maybe girls would date you. But I had all this gusto, you know? I was just like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not gonna cower to your little world, you know what I mean? So every lunch hour, I'd just go into town and hide somewhere. I would hide behind this old convent or in this scrapyard. There was this alley between two buildings that I would just pace back and forth. And if somebody saw me, I would just pretend like I was just walking through. And it sucked because I knew how fun I was. I knew I was funny. I was always cracking my older sisters up. My friends knew how fun I was. It's just people at school didn't really see it. I mean, I considered myself pretty tough, but after a while, I just got sick of it. So one day I found a rope at my grandpa's farm, and I found this tree, and I was gonna, I guess, kill myself. So I threw the rope up on the tree, and I had to check its sturdiness and, you know, make sure it worked. So I grabbed onto the rope and I tugged real hard, and when I did that, I gave this little kick, and I had to stop and laugh because the kick that I just did reminded me of your character, Sally O'Malley. You know the one. I like to kick and stretch and kick. I'm 50 years old. And I just reenacted your whole scene out in the field by myself, and I laughed, and I laughed to myself. My grandpa finally came up on me, and he asked what I was doing with the rope, and I said, well, I was building a tire swing. And I hate building things, but I had to build a tire swing so that he wouldn't know what I was really up to. But that was okay.
Is it still there?
What's that?
The tire swing, is it still there?
Yeah, it should be.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, Sally O'Malley saved my life. I mean, school was hell, but nobody could take my laughter, you know? Nobody could take my Saturday night. And I mean, SNL's lasted longer than any friendship I've ever had, or my parents' marriage. I mean, it was around before I was born, and it'll be around long after I'm dead. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, Molly, what you do is really important. What you do is really important, Adie.
Adie and Miller look each other in the eyes for a few beats of silence. From out of nowhere, they start making out over Molly Shannon's coffin.
Hello, is this turning you on?
We cut to the exterior street outside the club. Adie and Miller can't keep their hands off each other as they get into an Uber. We then cut to the inside of Adie's apartment. Adie and Miller fall through the door, stumbling across the room awkwardly in each other's arms. They fall onto the bed. The scene fades into the light of the next morning.
I never knew it was possible to make out all the way to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, in my 20s, I was trying to save sex for marriage, so I would just make out with girls for so long that I would give them rashes on their mouths.
Oh, no.
No. From friction.
Well, I'm glad we eventually did it. I have to stay pretty for the cameras after all. You taking off already?
Yeah. If I miss another shift, I'll literally have to start skipping meals.
What is it that you do for a living again?
I'm a student.
A mature student.
Yeah, I decided to go back to school after a while.
And what are you going to be when you grow up?
No, for now, I'm a fake history reenactor.
What?
I live in this town called Moose Jaw, and the city spread a rumor that Al Capone would hang out there. I mean, it's not true. There's zero evidence, but they basically created a whole tourism industry around it. So I play this Chicago stooge that takes people around these tunnels that Capone allegedly made booze in.
Chicago doesn't even have something like that, and I'm pretty sure Al Capone has been there before. I used to live there.
When you did Second City.
Yeah, it's a little weird to be with someone who already knows about my life. Do you know about my family?
Just that you have a brother and your mom owns a floral shop?
Yep, it's weird. Did I just bang a groupie?
Miller finishes dressing and reaches into his backpack, pulls out a stack of paper.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. My friends and I are starting a sketch group back in Moose Jaw, and I've got some sketches here. I would really love to get your opinion of them.
Oh.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
He goes in to kiss her. She lets him, but she doesn't kiss back.
So, can I call you sometime?
Just Instagram me.
Okay, did I do something wrong here?
Nope.
Because I kind of feel like I want to solve it if I did, but I can't. I got a flight to catch.
I'm not paying for you to take a late flight.
No, that's not what I meant.
That you need to go. So go.
Okay.
Miller waits at the door for a few moments, finally decides to recite a line from one of 80's sketches.
AIDS rocks. That's from your sketch where...
I know.
I don't have AIDS.
You should put that on your resume.
Okay. It was nice meeting you.
He closes the door. We fade out and fade in the interior of the Saturday Night Live stage. It's nighttime. Miller comes on the stage during the opening monologue. He waves to the audience as they cheer.
Can't believe I'm hosting SNL. So, I mean, as many of you know, I'm from a small town. The first time I ever came to New York, I had 24 hours and $50 in my pocket. And I tried to get into a taping of SNL, but I couldn't get in. But I ran into the one and only 80 Bryant. That's right, and Molly Shannon. They hung out with me that night, and you know what? The day of being on this stage just seemed all the more possible. It taught me to never give up. We've got a great show for you tonight. Beats Tovin is here, so please stick around.
We cut to the interior of the Moose Jaw tunnels. It's daytime. Miller is daydreaming on his break. He's dressed up like a 30s Chicago gangster. Another gangster is trying to get his attention.
Hey, Miller, you're on.
Okay.
We fade to Miller's living room later that evening. Miller brings popcorn to the couch and passes some to his girlfriend.
Who's hosting tonight?
Aubrey Plaza.
Miller sits down as they watch the show. 80 Bryant is in the scene and Miller gets nervous.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to your favorite show, Is It Rude?
All right, and we've got a caller here, Clarice from Michigan. She wants to know, is it rude to have a baby shower?
No, not at all.
And then an abortion.
Ooh, so rude. Just trying to get free onesies to resell on eBay probably. If you're gonna have an abortion, hold an
80 Bryant stole
shower.
my sketch.
Abortion showers are the newest thing. What are some good abortion shower presents?
College textbooks.
You've been branded to a peg. They cut off one of your legs. You ran in circles to the station downtown.